Dear friends, welcome to yet another installment of Strategic Power. In this video, we are going to analyze the Israeli attack on an Iranian target near Isfahan and speculate about possible retaliation from Iran. The escalation between the two nations seems to be reaching a point of no return, with threats of an immediate and maximum response from Iran. But could this confrontation lead to an even greater conflict involving other powers? Watch until the end to understand all the risks and leave your comment. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, take the opportunity to subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new content. A radar site is a strategic location for an attack because by reaching it, you blind the forces that depend on that radar for their operations. Thus, it is an ideal target for the Israelis. One of the reasons for the closure of many airports is that Iran is increasingly using its civilian airports as bases for the Iranian Air Force. For example, in Isfahan, the air base is located next to the international airport and houses the F-14 fighter jets acquired before 1979. Although these aircraft are old and have been upgraded to some extent by the Iranians, they represent a limited threat to the Israelis. It is important to note that when talking about the nuclear facilities in Isfahan, the main one is in Natanz, about 120 kilometers from the city. Therefore, attacking near Isfahan does not mean directly hitting the city or Natanz. It is a way of showing that you can reach that area and potentially neutralize that threat, if necessary. Iran does not possess something similar to the Iron Dome. That is why its air defenses are considerably outdated compared to Israel's, which are highly sophisticated and among the best in the world. This explains the notable difference between them. We will have to wait for post-battle analysis to understand exactly what was hit and how effective the Israeli attacks were. It seems they managed to carry out the attacks practically without facing significant retaliation. This indicates that there are gaps in the Iranian air defense system that the Israelis can exploit if they deem it necessary. This escalation marks a significant shift, as these two countries have been involved in low-intensity conflicts. Now, it seems the rules have changed. Iran's response is unpredictable, considering the different weapons they have at their disposal. Last weekend, we saw a demonstration of this, with more than 300 missiles and drones being launched against Israel. Few managed to get through the defenses mentioned by the colonel. However, Iran showed its ability to launch a large number of projectiles against Israel. We know that Iran can attack Israel through its allies in Lebanon, in Iraq, in Hamas in Gaza, and also through the Houthis in Yemen. So we understand the capabilities of both sides. So far, it has been a matter of how far each is willing to go. There is always the risk that the next step will be a step too far. I feel that tonight, with Israel attacking and successfully hitting Iranian targets within Iran, we have reached a critical point where we enter uncharted territory, where things can get very serious very quickly. What would be the danger of reaching this specific point of greater escalation? Is there any point of no return that could involve other countries in the region? Over time, the Biden administration has feared this, and that is why it has worked hard in recent weeks, especially in the last 48 to 72 hours, to restrain Israel from retaliating against Iran's recent attack. Now that Israel has ignored these US concerns and proceeded with the attack, I am concerned about what may come next, as it is very difficult to predict. The Iranians are trying to minimize the impact of the attack, but it is difficult to assess the true extent of the damage. If they are significant, I doubt Iran can hide it for long. There is also the question of national pride, especially among the hardline Iranian leaders who are in charge. They will feel the need to respond, just as Israel felt after Friday's attack. Now we are in an extreme scenario on both sides, which becomes the predominant position of both. Here is what the Iranian foreign minister said. Our response to the Israeli regime was limited and, in that, it remained within a minimal framework, while we could have given a much tougher response to the Israeli regime. After that, we announced that this response is within the framework of legitimate self-defense in accordance with international laws, but we will not continue. However, if the Israeli regime ventures again and takes action again against Iran's interests, then our next response will be immediate, and at the maximum level, it will be decisive. 3 very threatening words. It will be immediate. At the maximum level, it will be decisive.